The voice of the voiceless, hopeless, money never made me, being broke did. Welcome to the OGPOV universe where we kicking game from an OG point of view. I'm sitting on my porch here, man. It's a rainy day in the Berg. And I'm sitting here thinking, I want to talk to y'all about, why I stopped smoking. First of all, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? Welcome to the channel again. Um, but our OGPOV movement was heavy cannabis influenced. You know what I mean? Cannabis is a huge part of my life. Even though I haven't smoked for the past month, it's still a huge part of my life, But again, I like to move with intent. I like to be very, very intentional with my cannabis use. Always keep the why at the forefront. Why? Why am I smoking? What am I getting out of it? These are the things that I always ask myself. And recently, just on some financial shit, to keep it a bean, it's just been crushing my pockets, yo. I look at all the bread I spun in the past 5 years. I could use that shit right now. You know what I mean? And ain't no shame in my game. I can admit that. From a financial standpoint, it's just not adding up. You feel me? So with that being said, I haven't smoked in the past month. As a matter of fact, let me stop right there. I smoked twice. I smoked on Memorial Day. You know what I mean? Shout out to my bro out here in the Berg. Slid through his crib. He let me roll up a joint. You know what I mean? We blew it down. Shit was fire. Shout out to my brother out in Philly. He let me roll up. I ain't had no flour. You know what I'm saying? Swung through the crib. Great time. But I also had some moments where, so those were 2 times that I smoked in the past month. I also had a moment where my reflexes were questioned in moments. You feel what I'm saying? It was like, damn, if I wasn't high, would my reflexes have been a little bit sharper or better? That's a fair question, and I'm all about self-accountability. I try not to run from that, especially with my own decision making. I like to be sharp at all times, you know what I mean? Some of my sharpest moments have been when I've been smoking and when I've been high. I feel like, my focus it heightens in moments. But, I gotta be honest, like, sometimes you could be too high. Sometimes being super high is just not the move, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's you doing yourself a disservice, and that's nothing against the plant. It's nothing against the plant, but I think we owe it all to ourselves to just be transparent, to be honest with ourselves. And I can admit that, it was certain things that have happened in my life recently where I had to ask myself, like, yo, did cannabis get in the way here? And, I'm still trying to figure that out. But with that being said, from a financial standpoint, I spent thousands of dollars through the years, man. Writing my strain book. I used to go to the dispensary every single day, and that's kind of where I'm getting back to. That's one of the things that make me feel good about my break right now. I'm not done smoking, but I like to be even more intentional. Right now, I want to get back to just grabbing out of the dispensary. I'm almost done with the street, man. Done with the street. Niggas smoking spray packs, niggas smoking Reggie mids. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? For me personally as well, like, I don't even like smoking other niggas' flower. Like, I always got my own shit. You know what I mean? So now that, again, from a financial standpoint, it's not making sense. It's like, I'm cool. If niggas ask me to hit the joint, I'm alright. You know what I mean? I'm cool. I'll wait till I can stand on my own 2 feet. Niggas that offer me to hit the blunt backwood, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody in the OGPOV fam know exactly where I stand on blunts and backwoods. Watch my old videos. I got a 2-part series on why I don't smoke backwoods, and I got a video. As a matter of fact, I'll have it going across the ticker. Click the link if you want to watch the video on why I don't smoke blunts. It all comes back to finances. It all comes back to health. It all comes back to being intentional. And that's just where I'm at with it, But within this past month, I've gotten an opportunity to view the world differently. For the past 4 or 5 years, smoking has surrounded my every step. You know what I mean? I wake up, smoke. Smoke, eat. Smoke, eat, smoke. Smoke, work out, smoke. I sometimes even smoke, work out, and smoke at the same time. Smoke after, right before bed, smoke. It's just like, financially, it's a killer. If you can't hold your weight financially in the cannabis space, you should probably think of a different way. You should probably think about changing that play call up in the huddle, because you could find yourself in a position where you really just looking in hindsight like, damn, I could really use that bread right now. You know what I mean? But even just from a productivity level, you know, I never was one to just smoke just cause. You know, I use smoke as like a superpower, at least for me. Smoking helped my focus. You know, when as a serial entrepreneur, I'm always thinking of different ideas, thinking of different business ventures, different ideas to help grow and scale my businesses. And with that being said, sometimes you can have so much on your plate that you do nothing. You know, smoking always helped me itemize my steps. It really helped me order my steps. You feel me? But towards the end of my journey, a little over a month ago, I started to realize and recognize like, yo, I'm starting to just feel lazy. I'm not really getting as much done as I want. And smoking was kind of in the way of that. It was like a fog. You feel me? Also, you know, I wasn't smoking the best cannabis. You know what I mean? My funds was getting lower, so I had to buy lower quality cannabis. And just that experience is just not what I'm in it for. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to smoke no low quality shit, no old shit. Again, I'm a dispensary nigga, so like all my shit got expiration dates on it, THC levels. I know the parental lineages, things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, through writing my book, and I was looking at some of the notes in my book, and that's the kind of shit that I'm on. That's the kind of shit that I've always been on, and moving forward, that's the kind of shit that I'm going to be on. Getting back to the dispensary grabbing, there's nothing wrong with the streets, but I don't like unknown packs. You know, I don't like grabbing shit where the nigga you grabbing it off of barely know the name, or he just like, oh no, it's just some fire. Like nigga, where did you get this from? You know, and then, you know, here in Pittsburgh, you know, flour is just different. You know, niggas got spray packs, niggas got depths. You know, I bought a QP off my man one time, and it was like all depths, like the shit. I couldn't even smoke that shit. You know, some people will smoke it. Me personally, I'm not the type of nigga that just smoke anything. You know, and you know, even with that, like just smoking socially, if I don't have my own flower, I'm not the type of boy that is just freeloading off niggas and just trying to join the reefer crowd. Like, Nas got a line. He said, "People style." He said, "People style. She looking weaker now, in and out of every reefer crowd." I might have fucked that line up, but that's off the Black Girl Lost song. Like, in and out of every reefer crowd, people style. Like, she looking weaker now. Like, no, man, that's just not a good look. You know, that's like some crumb bum shit. That's like niggas got one bottle, you just pouring in everybody's cup. Like, that shit weak. I'm not that type nigga, you know what I'm saying? So if I ain't got my own smoke, I'm not trying to like buddy up next to the nigga, just like wait for niggas to pass it to me. Like, that shit out, you know? So, but during this last month, I've been able to see the world differently. You know, I wake up, I'm not high, I'm sober. And that's no diss to being high, because I love being high, but right now it's more time for me to focus my finances and my money elsewhere. You know, there's a famous interview, Nipsey Hussle's last interview in the Breakfast Club, where he spoke on how he loves weed, but it's sometimes he gives it a break. He was doing a press run. He was like, right now it's more important for me to be focused. You know what I mean? I'm moving around, I'm networking, I'm meeting different people. It's not like he was ashamed of smoking. He just understood that it's a time and a place for everything. You know, and that's where OGPOV stands. You know, that's what we represent. Moving with intent, understanding our why, and staying locked into that. You know what I mean? That's where you never see yourself doing too much. You never see yourself. You know, just playing yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Never, ever. I'm sitting here thinking about my kids. Like, it's been times where I've been, you know, I might be smoking, doing something, and then I might be smoking some gas. I might smoke too much, and then I find myself sitting there. I might be too high. Then it's like my kids want me to play, and it's like, now I gotta fight through the high, and that's just not how I want to do it. You know, that's just not where I'm at with it. I'm always gonna smoke in my crib. Shit, Schoolboy Q, he got a line. He said, what he say? He said, my house smell like ganja. Fuck your kids. I'm dealing with problems. Finishing albums, freaking and styling, teaching and smiling. Like, that was off the Blue Lips album, off the Cootie song. You know what I mean? Shout out to Schoolboy Q. But you know, even with that being said though, he said, fuck your kids, I'm dealing with problems. I was never the type of person to smoke when, you know, I'm stressed out or to relieve stress. When shit fucked up or something go left in my life, the last thing I want to do is be high, honestly. Like, I never was able to do that. Like, when shit's fucked up, I just want to work on solutions, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to try to smoke. Like, it's going to make me feel worse, you know what I mean? Again, when I smoke, it heightens my mood. If I want to focus, it's going to help me focus more. If I'm upset, I'm just going to be more upset. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a higher, mad. I'm going to be even madder. You feel what I'm saying? Look at my baby pulling up right here. But, you know, you just never know. You just never know, man. Yeah, so I'm just moving with intent. I'm not mad at where I'm at. Putting more money into my pockets. Y'all ready? I'm recording. Yep. Hold on real quick. No, you good. I'm about to close this joint out. So yeah, you know, we're moving with intent. Putting more money in my pockets. Moving with more intent, and I'm thankful with where I'm at. This isn't the end, but I will say, you know, can't wait to get to the dispensary. Stay locked into all things OGPOV universe. You know, we kicking game from an OG point of view. What's up, baby? What's up? What? Okay, here I come. Give me 1 second. You know, we'll figure it out, man. Stay locked into all things OGPOV. It's her birthday? Okay. Oh, it's Harrison's birthday. Happy birthday, Harrison. What's up, Jackson? My kids here. I love my kids. So yeah, you know, we'll figure it out. I want to encourage everybody before I get up out of here to hold yourself accountable. If the shit ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. If it ain't making sense in the huddable, you got, you know, switch it up, call an audible, change the play call. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to be a nut ass bull just looking for the next high, because it's not even all about the high. You feel what I'm saying? You know, we'll figure it out, man. Follow us on Instagram, OGPOV Universe. Subscribe to the channel at OGPOV Universe. You know, we'll figure it out.